The following presentation is a brief overview of the history of human trafficking. In a world, well, this world actually, circa 1450 AD, Europe held much of the power and was the world hegemon. They used their influence and power to capture slaves in Africa, then shipped them to Portugal to do work. Many other European countries started to buy and trade slaves. Even North America got in on the action in the early 1600s. Not everyone trafficked was used for manual labor. Fast forward a bit, in 1904 the International Agreement for the Suppression of White Slave Traffic was signed and put into action. This was to prevent white women and girls from being forced or tricked into prostitution. Many believed this agreement was only used to limit the number of European women trying to work abroad. After World War I, in 1927, the League of Nations was founded. They changed the suppression of white slave traffic to just traffic of women and children. The world now recognized every woman and child as somewhat important, no matter the color of their skin. Not important enough for any real action to be taken, though. In 1995, real change started to occur. The UN held the Fourth World Conference to address the issue of human trafficking. A major breakthrough occurred because at this convention, human trafficking was declared to be violence against women and children. Big steps were taken to stop this horrific industry, including setting up effective law enforcement and institutions who would work to eliminate trafficking both nationally and internationally, and implementing programs including educational and rehabilitation institutions to provide for the social, medical, and psychological needs of victims of trafficking. Since then, there have been 2 large trafficking busts in Thailand and Taiwan. There are still a lot more to make and many more victims to help. This is where the Laboratory to Combat Human Trafficking Denver chapter comes into play. In 2005, a Colorado chapter of the Polaris Project opened in response to local demand for improved statewide response to human trafficking. Operating as Polaris Project Colorado, the organization increased its influence quickly and found a place among the other anti-trafficking efforts. Their duties included training first responders who encountered victims and survivors, building the capabilities of other organizations that serve victims and work to combat human trafficking, community-based research, and growing community awareness. In 2010, the Polaris Project declared the Colorado chapter as an independent organization, and the Laboratory to Combat Human Trafficking was born. Since then, LCHT has trained over 20,000 service providers, law enforcement officers, healthcare workers, teachers, and community members to aid in their mission of ending human trafficking and helping those who have already been made victims. They have also made a hotline, the Colorado Network to End Human Trafficking Hotline. LCHT's mission to end all forms of human trafficking focuses on 4 key elements: prevention, protection, prosecution, and partnership. Even though they and the world have made great progress in the fight against this horrible industry, there is still a lot of work to be done. So in the words of William Wilberforce, you may choose to look the other way, but you can never say again that you did not know.
Created using Powtoon.